Hey, welcome to Belfair Academy. Today's shot is a greenside chipper pitch shot from out of the rough. Now here in South Carolina we have thick Bermuda rough, and we can either get one of two lies most of the time. Sometimes the ball sits up, just like this one is, and sometimes it sits down in the rough. So let's talk about the adjustments to hit both shots. So I've got a greenside shot here of no more than about 30 or 40 feet, but the ball's sitting up in the rough. So I need to make some minor adjustments as I set up to play this shot. Now to visualize, I'm just going to move over here to some shorter grass, and I'm actually going to tee a ball up. This is what I want you to feel like when you hit this shot. That ball is essentially sitting on a cushion of grass, and underneath it is a lot of air. So we want to make sure that we're very shallow when we hit this shot. The next thing we want to do is we want to choose the right tool. So if you were to use a lob wedge or a sand wedge from this situation, you may hit the top of the club, the ball may hit the top of the club and not go as far. So always take one or two more clubs. So for instance, for this shot, if it were sitting down, I'd play my sand wedge. But since this ball is sitting so much up, I'm going to take two clubs more and go more towards my pitching wedge. So if I take my pitching wedge and I pretend that the ball's on a tee, and remembering we want a shallow angle of attack, I'm going to make sure that I don't put the ball back in my stance because that's more of a steep swing. I want to put the ball a little bit more forward, and I want to have a very shallow feeling setup, weights forward, and I'm actually going to feel as if I just pick the ball with the handle leading forward, pick the ball right off the tee. That way I can keep the handle leading and make sure that I don't go down and under where the ball may come off the top of the club. That's the most common made mistake with the ball sitting up in the rough, is most people play it deep and the ball comes off the top. Now, when we get in a different situation, we may have the ball sitting down. And when that ball sits down in the rough, now we've got to make some setup adjustments for that. So I'm going to go back to my sand wedge. I'm going to set up a little steeper, meaning I'm going to get my weight a little more forward, making sure my center's forward, and the ball's going to be slightly back in my stance towards my right foot. This golf swing is a steeper motion, requiring a little more set of the hands and actually little to no follow through. Most people get in the rough and it gets buried in there, especially in Bermuda grass, and they feel the need to thrust forward and really follow through. That gets you in all kinds of trouble with distance control. So all I'm going to do is put the ball back a little bit, set up steeply with the weight on my left side, choke down on my golf club, and I'm simply going to hinge it up and try to leave the club head in the rough. That got the ball up in the air. Ball came right out of the center of the face, got good elevation, and was able to stop on the green. So to review real quick, differences in rough lies. Make sure that when you come over to a greenside shot that you bring more than one club, because you don't know what the lie would be. If it's sitting up in the rough, play the ball slightly more forward with less loft and simply sweep it like it was on a tee, leading the handle all the way through the shot. When the ball's sitting down, steeper setup, weights left, balls back, choke down, and try to leave the club in the turf. That'll get the ball to pop out and you'll be able to control your distance better. If you have trouble with this shot or any others, please see us at the Belfair Learning Center. We're happy to help you.